Some right-wing commentators are not happy with a segment on CNN that featured an interview with a cartel member. Just when you thought that they cannot go any lower, CNN is interviewing cartel members and ask how they feel about being labeled terrorists. You cannot make this crap up. CNN is now sitting down with cartels to ask how they feel about Trump's policies and being labeled terrorists. CNN is enemy of the people. Let's take a look at some of this segment and see if this interview is as bad as they say.
Once led by the notorious drug lord El Chapo, this cartel is responsible for selling huge quantities of drugs to US consumers. In the first 6 months of Sheinbaum's presidency, thousands of suspected cartel members have been arrested, and more than 140 tons of drugs have been seized. But the reality is, more than 1,200 people have also been killed in Sinaloa in the past year. Hundreds more have disappeared. An uncomfortable fact for the Mexican military. Who are the men running this criminal network, wreaking havoc on people living here? Just managed to secure a meeting with a member of the cartel who's involved apparently in the production of drugs. He says he produces fentanyl for the Sinaloa cartel. How safe or dangerous is this area to be in?
En estos momentos todas las áreas son peligrosas.
I mean, according to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación, ¿verdad? Está fea la situación, pero pues todos tenemos que comer.
What's your message to Donald Trump, if he's watching this?
Mis respetos, él tiene que según él, buscar lo mejor para los suyos. Pero el detalle que ya están los consumidores, ¿no? Si no hubiera consumidores, pues uno le parara.
People are dying on a daily basis. Children are afraid to go to school. Do you have any sense of remorse over your role and your involvement in this group?
Claro que sí. Claro que sí. Creo que sí. Pues está triste la cosa, pero pues está triste la cosa, pero.
That poor cartel member is just trying to provide for his family. If only those stinking Americans would stop using drugs, they wouldn't have to make it. If you have an opportunity to interview a cartel member while putting the story together, certainly you'd take it. Perhaps you might not want to push too hard at risk of getting yourself killed. And if you're a cartel member in the interview, you're most certainly going to try to present yourself in the best light possible, not as inhuman monsters who rip the beating hearts out of people. Sorry, I can't exactly show you that, but rest assured that footage exists. So technically, everything played out as you think it might. The real issue is just that this is CNN, and any narrative that's painted with their brush is going to be as comically ridiculous as this.
Today is May 5th, and that means Cinco de Mayo, Wolf, a holiday that celebrates Mexico's victory over France. But some, in the Battle of Puebla, I should say, but some communities have canceled or scaled back cultural events because of President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration and the fear among many Latinos that they could be arrested.
So after the network practically cried about a pretty clearly MS-13 terrorist being kicked out of the country, it's a bold move to then humanize a cartel member. Did we get this kind of humanization of people locked up for years for wandering into the Capitol on January 6th? Or what about people who lost their jobs because they didn't want to take an experimental vaccine? When you zoom out, it sure seems like CNN and most of the liberal media is trying their damnedest to soften the view of some of the scariest people on the planet. The question is, why?